Hi, I'm back now in my office here in United States, and I have just come from a trip to Europe, more specifically to both Poland and also to London. And while I was there in London, I went down to Speaker's Corner, and if you go up on Fender Films, you will see that I have put up 6 videos, the 6 latest videos, 4 of them from Speaker's Corner themselves itself, and that's why I want to talk about a little bit about Speaker's Corner because there's been a quite a interesting reaction from many of you, those of you who are regular on Fander Films, many of you who are subscribers. Some of you have been positive, others have been quite negative. Most of my videos in the last 2 years since I've been here, in fact all of my videos since the last 2 years since I've been here in the United States, have not been from Speaker's Corner for a very obvious reason. I left Speaker's Corner in July of 2017 and have not been back since. And those videos from Speaker's Corner are very strong, they're aggressive, they're vociferous, because of the environment that Speaker's Corner is. It's the only place on earth we can do that. It's the only place where we're permitted to really confront head on the very foundations of Islam. So I've not been back since until May 26th, just almost 2 weeks ago, where I had that informal debate with Mansour Ahmed, and you can go see it there on Fander Films. It's also on DCCI, it's also on SOCO Films, it's also on SC Dawa. They have the Islamic version of it, which is fascinating because of what they continued to say after Mansour got down. We'll be getting back to that, but why don't we just talk about what's going on and why I do from time to time go back to Speaker's Corner. Remember, I used to be a regular at Speaker's Corner for 25 years. I started going there in 1992. I stopped in 2017 when I moved back to the United States to then go all over the world. And Speaker's Corner is a place I will go back to from time to time when I am traveling and on my way to or through London. I will try to get back up on the ladder. A few of you have been concerned because what happens at Speaker's Corner stays at Speaker's Corner. It's a unique venue. It's the only place on earth we can say what we can say. It's the only place on earth we can really confront the Quran, and we can confront Muhammad, we can confront Allah, we can confront really the foundations of Islam. That's the only place we can really do it. I can't do it on university campuses. I can do it on film, but I cannot do it face to face with Muslims like I can at Speaker's Corner. And that's one of the great things about DCCI and SOCO Films, who are doing that, and they're the ones who are continuing that now that I've left. Case in point, look and see what happened just almost 2 weeks ago on May 26th. I went down there to introduce this book. This is the new book. I hope you get it. Please do get it. This is the book by Dr. Daniel Brubaker. It says 20 examples. There's actually 22 examples in this book of the most damaging variants, because they are consonantal variants, and that's why they're so damaging. And I introduced this there at Speaker's Corner with Hatun Tosh, who is the lady on my right, or on your left, that is now heading up DCCI, and she is the one who found the diacritical variants and started exposing them. The diacritical variants are not the same as the consonantal variants. They are not as damaging, but they're more plentiful. There's 93,000 of them that they have found already in the manuscripts that they're looking at, or the Qurans they're looking at. These consonantal variants I introduced along with Hatun. In fact, this book only came out 2 hours before we got up on the ladder, so it is now available on Amazon. You can get it, buy it, because what you'll see inside it are the variants that are so much damaged, and that's why Mansour Ahmed had to get up on the ladder. He was there, so was Mohammed Hijab. I saw him off to the left. I saw Adnan Rashid. I also noticed that Ali Dawa was there, and I saw also Paul Williams. None of them came to confront us. They should have, because I've argued and I've debated all of them on the problems of the Quran in the past. Many of those videos you can see on Fander Films. What's interesting is they didn't come forward. They stayed and they hung back. Only Mansour Ahmed had to come forward, and the reason's very clear, because he is an expert in this area. This is his area of expertise. I understand, I have been told, that he does some of the research and the writing for Islamic Awareness website, and that's why he is privy to this material, and that's why he was the best to engage with it. Look and see what happened in that debate. it did not take long. Within 30 minutes, he then had to leave. The reason why is all he could talk about were the insertions, and he called them scribal errors. He could not and did not want to engage with the erasers, and the most troubling, the coverings. But he made two admissions, and this is the beauty and this is the brilliance of Speaker's Corner. Because now on film, we have them up there. He made two admissions which are fascinating. First and foremost, he finally admitted that there was no complete Quran at all, 114 surahs, no manuscript, no complete Quran at all from 652. I backed it up to the 7th century. There was no complete Quran that he can forward that we know of and that exists today in the 7th century. And he could not come up with a complete Quran, one Quran, 114 surahs, even as late as 721. Notice, I backed him up 3 times. And in every case, his only reply, his final reply is that we have 97% of the Quran by 721. I loved it. What an admission. We have that on camera. But what he didn't tell you was that 97% is not from one Quran. It's from about 63 fragments, just fragments and pieces of Quran and bits and pieces here and there that they've amalgamated and come together, and they have it up on their website. You can go and see it. So even the 97% that he talked about is not one manuscript. It is many manuscripts and parts of manuscripts and parchments and pieces of fragments, some of them very small, that they've been able to tabulate and to accumulate finally 97% of the Quran, 721 or 719. He kept on saying the end of the 1st century, which was 719. I wanted to see if it would go to 721. What was fascinating. That means no complete Quran exists for almost 100 years after Muhammad. Ooh, I love it. We're going to really hang them on this one because we're going to use their own material against them. That you can do at Speaker's Corner. Now, I could do it right now. I've just done it right now in front of you. But that's not going to make the same impact as when the Muslims are all there and when they are making these claims. Once they make the claims, then you can film them and then you can quote them. That's why Speaker's Corner, the genius of Speaker's Corner, because everything that he said is now up on the internet. Every time he brings up, he says anything, we can keep quoting him, going back and using that against him. Folks, can you see what we're doing? We're putting them back into a corner, slowly but surely. We're taking the best and the brightest, and we're just forcing them to admit that everything they have been telling us about the Quran up to this time is proving out to be a lie. The more we introduce that, the more that we push them into a corner, the more they're going to have to come home. They're going to have to come home because we don't have these problems with the Bible. Thank God we don't make these claims to begin with. We would never say that there's 100% of the Bible that we can go back to the time of Jesus. We have never made claims like that. Therefore, we don't have to support it. Muslims have. Speaker's Corner is one of the best places to actually engage and to introduce that. I'll be going back to Speaker's Corner. As we get new material, we'll be introducing it at Speaker's Corner, and then we start unpacking it here at Fander Films. But from here on out, we'll be now going back to the much more sedate, the much more easy going, and the ones that most of you like, of me just talking to you with beautiful backgrounds, beautiful, gorgeous Eastern United States backgrounds behind me, unpacking the internal critique of the Quran. However, it is good to get down to Speaker's Corner every once in a while. It's fun to engage with that. Go look at the debate and then look at the 2 videos that followed right after where Hutton and I actually unpacked the 22 corrections that now Dan has come up with. Remember, Dan's book, this book is only a taster. This is just the beginning, the very first time it's ever been published. Dan is the first to do it. He has over 4,000 of these to go through. But then the next question is, what about those 63 bits and pieces of manuscripts that they have put together that they've been amalgamating up until 721, even if those dates are correct? Let's just say they are, hypothetically. Has anyone looked to see if they agree with each other? Has anyone looked to see if they agree with the Quran we have today? Ooh, we have so much work yet to do, and we're going to find out that the more we scratch, the more we find. The more we find, the more they whine. The more they whine, the more we shine. Oh, how sublime. Great. It's good to be back again. It's good to be back on track. This is Jay here in the United States. Over and out.